And so I'm going to say good morning. Thank you so much, Ms. Howard, for letting me come in and observe your kids and for letting me observe you. So the purpose of this final interview is just because I was able to come in and talk to you a little bit about, pre-observation, and you gave me some really good information about what to look for and how your class is structured. And then I was able to come in and I was able to see the kids move very efficiently. And so now this is just a pre-conference. So thank you so much for helping me to complete this assignment. I really do appreciate it. All right, so I'm going to go right into it. How do you think the students benefit throughout your lesson as a result of the grouping? You know, grouping is so strong in here, and we know what the research says. And so I watch your groups in here. How do you think that they benefit the most, because of your grouping?
The grouping allows me to put my finger on any possible problems. Like when it's whole group, some information may slip through the cracks, and your children who you think may have it don't have it. When they're in small groups, I can immediately see who has it and who doesn't have it, and I can put my finger on it and fix it immediately.
I do. I agree with that, and I think that I'm always like, okay, feedback. You can jump on it right away to, like, eliminate some of those misconceptions that the kids have.
Absolutely.
Okay. I said that I could feel that the kids had the classroom procedures and routines down packed, and they are in kindergarten. They immediately moved when you gave them the count. You counted 3, 2, 1, and they immediately knew that, listen, it was time for them to settle down and to go to their seats.
Yes,
So you counted them down, and you also told them that, listen, it's time for us to shift gears, which was transition. And I know that sometimes that's an area of struggle in some of the classes, but these kids, I could just tell that they knew the routines, they knew the procedures, and they were ready to shift gears on your command.
Much practice.
Yeah, lots of practice. That's it. Okay, it's a lot of practice. Because I was looking like,
Yes.
Okay, they understood your expectations also. You gave directions to move to stations, and you gave the students choices.
Absolutely.
And I watched them move to those stations. You did not count them down to get to the stations.
ma'am.
They immediately
knew.
moved to the stations. And so I was like, okay, these kids, they know what to do. So then my question to you would be, like, how do you reinforce good choices? Like, how do you make sure that the kids go to the stations that will enhance them,
Yes,
and not
ma'am.
just the stations where that's their strengths? So, how does that work?
Okay, what you didn't see prior to setting up my stations, first of all, because we were doing reading intervention stations, some stations are closed. And so then they know which stations are open and what they can go to. Now, for my children who are higher and stronger, those are the ones that could go to free stations. My free stations are like blocks, Play-Doh, because those are not skill-based. And so they go to those, and they already know that beforehand. For my kids who need practice, they know I'm going to those skill-based stations, and we have that conversation before we actually
All
get
right.
to them.
All right. And so that's how, okay, so
Yes,
they
ma'am.
already know that's
They
already.
already know, yes, ma'am. And the choice is still there for them. Like, for instance, if it's skill-based, they could either go to a dry erase board or to the writing easel or a chalkboard, and they're writing sentences or words. That's skill-based. Or if it's a math station, they're going to math manipulatives if they need extra practice with a skill. But if it's a free station, like I said, then they can just freely go to that. We've already had that
Oh
conversation.
my goodness. And so, and that too is it's training. You train them
Yes,
from.
training, practice, practice, practice.
Okay, that's good. That's good. All right. And so, so when I saw you do that, I have to tell you, I immediately thought, like, what would that look like in an older age? And, like, because I do believe that kids should have choice. And I just like that they immediately, you gave them choice and they moved to it. There
Yes.
wasn't downtime, there wasn't wasted
No,
time.
you
They
can't.
immediately went to the stations. And not only did they go to the stations, the kids were able to work independently
Independently. Yes,
in
ma'am.
some of the stations. And I just was like,
And with practice, they understand, Ms. Tiki, once you're in a station, you're in it. We can't roam all over the class. If you roam, you have to go back to your seat. A warning is given, and then you are told to go back if you continue. And we had to practice that as well. Have I had children to disregard that command? They have. And once they were told to go back to their seat, they fixed it the next time. Never had that problem again.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So then, okay, so you answered how would you enhance the areas of student
Mm-hmm.
grow with free choice? Because you said that they know which ones are skill
They know.
stations and which ones
Are free.
are not,
Mm-hmm.
are free. And have you had any kids that would try to go to like a free station if it's a skill station?
Course. But like I said, once it's explained to them, then they understand better
That they have
why.
to. Okay. Okay, and so then my next question is, do you see all the kids in the group, your group that you have here, or is this just for
It
like
depends. When it's reading in a course of a week, my higher reading students who have reached their goal, they may come read with me 1 or 2 days out of the week. But my children who have not reached their reading goal, they have to come and read with me every day and do interventions. For my bubble kids who are on the cusp of, going over, they usually come to my small group 3 times out of the week. So my goal is to see all kids in the week. It just varies as to where they are, how many times I do it.
And so you support all those learners, the high, the medium, and the
Absolutely.
low. You
Absolutely.
touch all of those
Yes,
learners,
ma'am.
and that's what. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. So let's see. The next question I have is, I believe you had about 6 stations that were open. Do you think there are any limitations of small groups?